Peace out, suckers. I'll see you in the morning. That's how Jesus would
I
be.
love the Aaron Malone translation. The AMT.
Yeah, dude. Hey folks, welcome back to another episode of Ascend the Mountain. I'm Aaron.
And I'm Steve, and we are two normal dudes having an authentic but light-hearted conversation about God and life. Hi, Aaron.
How's it going, buddy?
Good, how are you?
Doing all right.
How's your life going?
Oh, it's going.
It's going.
So if you're watching, you'll get this joke at this, and if you listen on podcast, you can just imagine. So I'm wearing a Carhartt baseball cap on purpose, actually, today for a joke that I saw online last night. I was scrolling on Facebook, and someone posted this, and I was just like, it's so true. It wasn't like this 10 years ago, but it's so true about the brand Carhartt that
It was a stocking cap that they showed for the picture.
Right. It's risky, this is the quote, it's risky to wear Carhartts because you never know if you're talking to a student, a hipster, or a licensed forklift operator. And that's so true because now it's like this super hip, trendy, brand wear. You'll see, like bands wearing them and, actors and things like that. And man, when I used to do construction, I used to do oil stuff and electrical, and Carhartt was the brand and is the brand. But if you were, you wouldn't wear that out to hang out with friends or something. It's like, what are you, just like living in the mud? It was kind of like the vibe. Now it's like, oh, hey, cool.
Since I'm not a manly man, I've never wore Carhartt.
In your life, ever? I'll get you a hat now for it. You'll be super hip and trendy now. Now you'll be a hipster or a student.
Or a student. Because you're not
or
hip.
a licensed forklift operator. And so today we're going to talk about something that we're not going to do on this episode because it would be a very boring episode. We're going to talk about silence. And if this episode was just
silent. That would
silent,
be kind of cool to do a silent podcast.
Yeah, you just sit here and we just...
Like a silent movie?
Yeah. Oh yeah, and then we just act it out like mimes. But we're going to talk about this concept of silence. And this idea popped in my mind, but it's something that I really believe in. And I'll hopefully be able to paint this picture for you. I was reading in Mark chapter 6, and it's a beautiful chapter. There's so much rich stuff in Mark chapter 6. But there's a point that right after Jesus feeds the 5,000, he goes up on the mountain. He disperses the crowd, sends the disciples across the lake. He's like, peace out, guys. I'll see you tomorrow morning. And he goes up on the mountaintop to pray. He ascends the mountain.
Peace out.
Peace out, suckers. I'll see you in the morning. That's how Jesus would be.
I love the Aaron Malone translation. The AMT.
Yeah, dude. But he goes up to the mountain. He ascends a mountain. Hello. And he spends a night talking and in relationship with his heavenly Father. Alone. And you see that throughout the New Testament with Jesus' life, that he is alone. He would go and get with God alone. And in our modern world, it is all, you can be with someone or involved in something nonstop. You can always have music in your ears. You can always be talking to someone, FaceTiming, Skyping, texting, Snapchatting, whatever it is, Instagram, whatever. You can be in communication with another human being, phone calls, work, life, TV. You can have noise and just volume everywhere you go. I mean, okay, Steve, like you and I hike a lot. Have you ever met someone on the trail that's like blasting their Bluetooth speaker?
So annoying.
Super.
It's not even good music.
No, it's usually terrible, but they're ruining that moment of like peace and quiet. I purposely...
I'm in a deep thought.
Yeah.
And I was saying,
some like punk rock or something, and you're like, what?
There goes that. I was like, seriously, just put earphones in.
Put your earphones in if that's how you want to
So
experience the
annoying.
outdoors. I think that's a dumb way to experience the outdoors, but so be it.
Yeah.
And so...
If you do listen to music, we're sorry. Try not to.
Don't disrupt the other people. Put your headphones in. That's what we're saying. Be courteous. And so my challenge, is kind of like conversation that we want to have today, is to begin to integrate moments of being alone and moments of silence into your life. And so, Steve, I want to throw that to you. Like, what does that look like for you? Do you value that? Is it something that you try to do, not do? Like, just talk a little bit
Well,
about
I
that.
grew up as an only child. My mom died when I was 3, so it was just my dad and I since I was 3 years old.
And you worked a lot, right?
and he worked about 80 hours a week. So
Yeah.
I was alone a lot. So I just learned to be alone. We have a joke in my house that I prefer to just live in a tiny home by myself with my bulldog. I like silence. I like to be alone. I probably like it way too much, but I hike alone a lot. I can play basketball alone. Certain things I can't do alone. But I mean, when I was a kid, I had imagined a whole imaginary world. I was everything. But I like being alone. But talking about being silent, I still have a lot going on in my head. But I don't know if being connected to this phone has probably changed everything. It's changed. I don't know if, like, even when I'm hiking, sometimes I'll get on my phone. It's so stupid.
To take a photo or see if you have service and see if you can check your Instagram feed or whatever.
It's just, yeah, that's interesting. What
And,
about you?
and for me, what I've experienced, and I have to make a conscious effort because it is super easy, and I'm not saying like I live a life of silence. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that
His
my
wife would like that.
Yeah, she would like that. Just shut up for like 5 minutes. That'd be awesome.
I would like that.
That I purposely have to make a conscious effort to find moments of quiet and silence, but I try my best to do that. I find value in that. Just to give like 2 quick examples, and it doesn't have to be like an hour, or, like, oh, I'm gonna spend half the day in perfect silence. That's not what I'm talking about. And at my home, I have 2 kids, 1.5 and 3.5, and I'm married, and a dog, and my life. So it's like finding a moment of quiet is very difficult. But I started this last summer. Because I was finding it harder and harder to find that quiet time or an alone silence time, if you will, silent time. That I would just go on the back porch like at 6:30 in the morning before the rest of my family got up, and I would literally sit on my back porch in my lawn chair for about 10 minutes with nothing going on. I didn't have a notepad, didn't have my Bible, didn't have my phone, nothing. I purposely left my phone in the house, and I just sat back there. And I live on an airplane path, so I mean planes would fly over every once in a while. You could hear like road noise and stuff, but I was alone with my thoughts in silence. And there were moments that were really beautiful, and I'd have a moment, where I would just experience like something going on, or just different small things. I'd hear God just encourage me with something, speaking to my heart or something. And there were moments where I'd literally sit there for 10 minutes and get nothing, and I'd just be like, cool, just sat here with my thoughts for 10 minutes.
And as I said, like growing up that way, I do that frequently still. Like, I can just go on a walk and I'm good.
Right.
Like, I take my dog on a walk most of the time in my house just because I love to.
But you don't bring like headphones and stuff.
Nothing.
Like just you.
Just me. And me and my thoughts, no matter how scary that is.
Yeah.
But there's times that I can literally think about nothing too.
Right.
Like, I could turn things off.
Turn all the lights off and just sit in darkness.
And even during worship, like you do those quiet times,
yeah.
I can just sit there. And as I said earlier, I think I like it too much. I enjoy it too much, but it makes me feel so good.
Yeah.
It's like a Zen moment.
Yeah.
Like, I just love it. I enjoy it. I actually look forward to it. And obviously my kids are older, so I can get away easier.
Right.
But your house is a lot, yeah. I've been in your house.
At this season of our life.
It's a good time.
Right. And so the value in this, and I'll also do that. It's a little trickier in the wintertime, but I'll take a walk sometimes, even when it's like frigid out, just by myself. Again, no earphones. I'm not listening to podcasts. I'm not like doing stuff. And what I believe is really important with that is, one, it's good to be alone with your thoughts sometimes. And I think for some of us, we have been so I don't know what other word to use. I'm just brainwashed, I guess is the word I'll use. That we have to have something going on, that we're actually afraid to be alone with our thoughts. Maybe because we're kind of scared about what we're going to think about.
Especially if you're an overthinker.
Yeah. What's going to happen if I actually am not distracted? And what am I going to think about? And maybe I'm going to start getting really depressed, or I'm going to get really, frustrated. And, we even talked about that on the last episode, that just went live recently. That I think it's healthy, though, because you can really assess where you are. Because you can just mow through life then, being distracted constantly, and just be going through the motions of life.
I kind of liken it to running on a treadmill. You're not going anywhere. You're still getting stuff done.
Right.
Like, your body's still feeling the effects of running, but you're kind of just going nowhere. We're busy to be busy.
Yeah.
And we almost wear it as a badge of honor, like, I'm busy. And it's interesting when you talk to people, like, hey, do you want to hang out? Like, you look at someone's schedule, like, they're so busy, and no one really even schedules time just for quiet. Even, let me put it this way, even when we do our Bible reading and our praying and stuff, sometimes that's just being busy.
Yep.
Shutting everything down, just going, is beautiful. And I think of a scripture of Psalm 46:10. It says, "Be still and know I am God." And it said, "Be still and go fishing." I mean, people do quiet times that way. I'm not against that.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, being still. Think about that. Like, I got ADD, HD, HBC, ABFFs. I got it all. Like, I'm fidgety of all fidgets. And I struggle sometimes to sit still. But when I do, and I, like, sit still, like, I have to consciously do it.
Right. But there's a benefit to not only, like what you said, I think it's like hopping off the treadmill for a little bit. And again, it can be 10 minutes. I mean, it can just be like, go walk around in your apartment complex and just go. And don't listen to anything, and just be you and walk around your complex, or take a walk on your lunch break at work, or whatever, without anything going on, because if we have access to it, doesn't mean it's always healthy and good. And it's like a moment to hop off the treadmill and be like, am I on the right treadmill? Is this a good place for me to be? Are there areas maybe where I need to like change and move direction? And it's a good way just internally to process, but then I can, and I know you will agree, particularly if I'm in nature in any way, shape, or form. If I'm quiet and still, I get to know how good, big, awesome, and powerful God is by being still and quiet and not distracted in that
Especially
moment.
when you get to your destination that you're doing on a trail. You and I actually, when we get to a top, we don't
try not
talk.
to
We
talk
actually
for-
go separate directions and kind of get to our own. We don't plan it.
Right, we just
It
know.
just kind of
and
happens.
we just do
and
it.
we kind of just, and I do that, and I just love to sit there, and I'll go for a half hour, 40 minutes if time allows, and just stare.
Yeah, and just be.
Just be. And it's actually amazing. And I'm sure if there's science behind it, I'm sure it's good for your head, it's good for your heart, it's good for your body. Just to be able just to take a moment to just go,
Right.
breathe. And I think it's okay. Even if it's being able to just sit there.
Yeah.
Like I grab a rock and I play with it, I'll throw them, grab a stick, kind of just don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Think of nothing, try.
Right.
But
So our challenge to you guys today is to maybe integrate that in your life a little bit. It doesn't have to be this big giant shift in your life right away, but look for silent moments and value that time, and try to make some time every week to do that. And I think we both would agree that you will see a positive impact, and I believe that you will get to know God more because of it, and know yourself and how God sees you more.
And to add this, it's okay. I just want to emphasize, it is okay. You don't have to always talk. Like sometimes I feel like you feel like you're not getting anything done if you're not talking to God or writing something or being productive. And I think sometimes God just loves to sit with you too.
Yep.
There's moments I've hiked with my son, and we just get to the top, and I like what you said, just be, and we'll just sit there.
Yeah.
Nothing said, and it's one of my favorite moments. Probably because neither one of us are talking. But
Right.
it's good. I like that.
Yeah. Cool.
So,
All right, guys. So don't forget to subscribe if you're not a current subscriber. Check us out on our podcast as well. If you're enjoying these videos, give us a thumbs up, share it with friends and family. Give us a 5-star review over on the Apple Podcasts.
Yep.
And we'll see you guys next time.
all right. Peace out.